Welcome to Veterans Counseling Veterans Podcast, Veteran Suicide, the Local Solution. Episode 17 is Equine Therapy and Veterans PTSD. I'm your host, Tony Williams. Welcome to Veterans Counseling Veterans Podcast. It's called Veterans Suicide, the Local Solution. And one of the things we always feel like when it comes to veteran suicide is it's really, even though it's a national problem, has a local solution. The local solution is the community, including nonprofits, individuals, and the surrounding community as well. Today's, we're going to actually talk about equine therapy and veterans and with the PTSD. And one of the people we're going to have, the organization we're going to have on board is called Code Horse. Code Horse is the organization that is out in Mount Dora. They're a nonprofit. They've been nonprofit for almost since 2014, and they actually provide services, and they have a joint venture that they'll talk about later on, where they actually tying with UCF and dealing with and helping out the veterans when it comes to PTSD. So who we have today, I want to introduce is, first of all, we got Norm Bissell. You guys recognize Norm. Norm is part of the Veterans Council Veterans Tribe, and he actually has a direct relationship with Code Horse. We have Shannon Kruger and also Meg Moore. How are you doing, guys and ladies?
Wonderful. Good.
The first thing I want to do is just really kind of give some kind of like a foundation of who exactly is Code Horse and how long they've been around. And we'll start with you, Meg, and get some kind of background on Code Horse.
Code Horse was established as a not-for-profit group in 2014. So we've been around for 7 years. We've seen hundreds of veterans over the time. We've been working, and we've collaborated with other not-for-profit groups and had retreats at our ranch in Umatilla. And we see veterans on a daily basis.
Yeah, and just give us, what's the ranch like? You know, how many horses? You know, I know it's in Mount Dora. Give us kind of layout. What we see if we send people out to your way.
We have 9 horses, and we have a lovely 12-stall barn. We have a covered arena, a round pen, a cookhouse, a cabin for counseling, and they're building a new outdoor shower and outhouse. Currently is our project.
So the showers for the horses or for the people?
The horses have showers too, but this shower is for people.
Okay. And Shannon, what is your role with Code Horse?
My role with Code Horse is I am an ES, which means I'm an equine specialist. So I work with the veterans and their horses, and I just help them communicate and build their relationship and use it outside the ranch.
Okay, and then I think I almost forgot to mention that, Meg, you're actually the treasurer?
I am the treasurer. I've been treasurer for a few years, and before that I was the secretary. I am a founding member of the board.
Great. And Norm, my buddy Norm, give us a kind of insight on, especially from a veteran point of view, about Code Horse and how they help veterans out with their PTSD and such.
So before Code Horse existed, you know, we talked about saddles being the ranch. So veterans have always been a part of the ranch. Currently, we have veteran ambassadors that are helping work, tend the land, work the horses, and it's helping out with their healing. One of the other additions is we actually have hookups so that we can put RVs out. So whether we're running retreats or we are hosting veteran ambassadors, they can actually stay on the property, and part of their treatment, and whether they're transitioning or going through other therapies, sometimes it's physical rehab, surgery, or just regular treatment, mental health wise, we can help facilitate that either way. But where we make the most money is with our retreats, whether they are focused on all male groups. We can facilitate all female. One of our focus has been military sexual trauma. So that's something that can be easily adapted to at our ranch. We've had a lot of success with our couples retreats, especially working with the special operations community from MacDill, bringing the couples up, and we're working on getting our site certified so that they can take TDY and actually come hang out at the ranch with us. We have other key groups to pull in after veterans go off into the world of work and they become first responders, doctors, nurses, etc. We also have ways to accentuate their talents. So when we're doing leadership courses with physicians or helping integrate, we have a lot of ways to essentially take the knowledge base and skills and abilities and help them develop that further into whatever lane they're working for.
And you had mentioned earlier, and again about saddles and chair. Meg, can you get some more information about what kind of role that Cheryl and her husband Mike plays in, as far as saddles and stuff? Can you give us insight on that? And Mike, and Norm, you can join into the information about that.
Well, I can talk about Cher a bit. I believe that Norm probably has more information about Mike. Cher has been working as a clinical licensed social worker for a very long time. And I got to know Cher around 2005. And I became interested in equine therapy at that time. I had a son that had a need, and so Cher's been doing equine therapy and research with all sorts of communities for approximately 20 years. And I have been working in the field since 2013. I'm a therapeutic riding instructor and equine specialist as well, and kind of a philanthrope. So
does that mean money?
Does that mean money? No. I fear not.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And I want, and now Norm, I know you're a therapist, you're a combat army veteran. Is there other therapists that you also work with?
Currently, everything we do is in network. So again, it's branching out with Project Vet Relief, branching out with the Camaraderie Foundation. We're always looking to connect with other not-for-profits. In terms of other therapists, what we're looking to do, I'm getting ready to get my qualified supervisor cert so that I can take on minions and start taking other veterans who are interns and getting them covered so that they can go off and be high-speed therapists as well. So Cher's been doing that for quite a while. She's an amazing supervisor for social workers. So I would cover down on the counselors and other folks, the counseling interns coming through.
Yeah, I see a great synergy with that, with Veterans Counseling Veterans. Because we want to make sure that we, as you know, we want to get students the opportunity to stay with veterans and also do the internship. So I'll be looking out for you guys when you get certified. No, thank you.
Absolutely.
And Shannon, and give us an insight on what your day-to-day activity looks like with at Code.
My daily activities?
Yes.
They include to the simplest of tasks of making sure the horses look good, make sure they eat their breakfast, their lunch, their dinner, make sure, nobody's picking on each other. Those horses, they play rough sometimes. Okay. So I got to babysit sometimes.
Oh, would this be a good opportunity to talk about some of our Pirelli work and going over the horsemanship, how we're developing the skills and fine-tuning the horses on a regular basis for things like mounted shooting and other extracurriculars?
Yeah, I think any time is good time.
Sure, go ahead.
So basically what Pirelli horsemanship is it's natural horsemanship. Instead of the old cowboy way of breaking the horse the hard way, putting him away wet after a hard day's work. We're making a relationship and working as a team, asking for their cooperation to make that relationship stronger instead of, I'm going to push you around, horse, and you're going to do what I want, the old cowboy way.
Okay.
So Pirelli horsemanship not only makes it easier for us to take care of them, it is easier for our patients and our clients to connect with them because we can teach them Pirelli horsemanship. And it doesn't take years and years and years to learn. It takes years and years and years to master. But they can learn it bit by bit, day by day, and feel that connection with their horse and use their, not use, but let their horse help heal them.
Sure.
That's it.
And Norm, I'm curious as a veteran infantryman, that kind of stuff there, and I love the term minion, but can you tell us how, again, if I'm a veteran, what things do they offer to me that would encourage me to actually sit there and go to Code Horse?
So on the saddle side of the house, what I learned very quickly, I thought that I was just going to become a therapist and only work with veterans. And then you learn that veterans come in different ages and service eras and types, degrees. And after you break down all 132 demographic factors, I ended up taking care of everyone ages 4 to 140 because you have to take care of the veteran. You have to take care of their spouse, significant other, partner, battle buddy, kids, family, right? You have to take care of the family to take care of the veteran. And especially when there are children on the spectrum. Meg could talk for quite a bit on her successes with putting children, doing the equine assisted learning and helping rehabilitate that. So on the lowest end, we had a veteran and first responder just bring his wife out and come help us feed horses in the morning. So just being able to make that simple connection, veterans may not want to come and talk to a therapist, but they'll always go and talk to a horse. So that right there will set the stage for whatever needs to happen going forward, whether it's coming to one of our camaraderie dinners to bring together vets and first responders and build that bridge. Again, we do the individual couple sessions to work through various issues. We do the team building exercises. So if you have groups generally of work groups like first responders working with police officers, deputies, firefighters, nurses, and docs, we can bring in the whole group, and each day is tailored so we can address whatever's going on with the group. So whether that veteran is dealing with family issues, dealing with their own internal battles, whatever they're facing can be addressed on the spot that day.
And so what I really, and that with Veterans Council Veterans, Norm knows that we're really, really big time fans of the family and the family involvement. So Meg, can you provide some insight as far as how the kids interact and act with when it comes to the horses?
Horses are universal healing for everybody. It doesn't matter the age, I don't believe. They get under the skin and they open up the child to become more willing to participate in life. And the families, I have really loved to watch my children's families grow, and they're like magnets to the ranch. They become attracted to the feeling, the peace, the serenity, and that's that gives me a lot of joy too, because that's something we share.
I appreciate that. And Norm, you get a chance, maybe when we get through this COVID-19, maybe we'll have an outing out there and see what's going on with Code Ranch, invite some kids to talk. Speaking of COVID, and I brought it up, how have you guys managed Code Horse with the COVID stuff going on?
Shannon, do you want to take this one?
I can certainly take that one.
Sure.
Okay, so with, COVID was a surprise for everybody. So we had to do our homework, what helped, what didn't help with keeping everything clean. So we built a hand washing station outside by where everybody parks, and they have to wash their hands. And, if we go and brush the horses, pick their hooves, we clean the brushes as soon as they're done. They use a halter, we clean the halters, we just make sure everything's as clean as it can possibly be. If there's a session that happens in the cabin, we wipe down all the furniture, the doorknobs, the bathroom. Very meticulous about it. And especially if they've been traveling, we do have certain measurements for the levels of exposure that could have been. And we treat it accordingly.
How has it affected you guys' business? Knowing with this social distancing, I know you mentioned about the hand cleaning, but how has it affected you guys' business?
Business-wise, we have taken into account how our clients would feel about lots of people being there. So we've limited to one client on property at the time, so that there's no more than one client on the property. They feel the safety of nobody's touching everything and being germy. They know who's there. It's just staff and them, and that gives them a more private feel to their experience, and that even adds to it. So we've just had to space everybody out.
And Norm, you had mentioned, I really want to make sure we focus on this. You mentioned you had some military sexual trauma retreats and stuff. Can you give me a little more? Because you know that's one of our core functions is military sexual trauma. So yeah. Can you walk me through a little bit about how do I get somebody to get to be part of that? As far as they want to be part of the retreat and all that kind of stuff, and what does it look like? How many days and all that kind of stuff?
So what we found worked best is limiting the retreats to approximately 3 to 4 days, and that allows the participants to not miss too much work, not be away from the kids for too long, not that there's ever such a thing, but it also works out from a financial standpoint because retreats can be very cost and labor intensive. So we work to defray that cost by going out and finding grants, partnering with local resources and local agencies, and basically getting the community together to support the events. And bringing participants in right off the bat, we get them connected to horses, teach them safety, teach them how to communicate, how to connect. And Meg, I'll pass this off to you, how to essentially turn the switch back on that was turned off in basic training or boot camp. Because the one thing unique to the veteran experience is that, emotions and feelings are non-essential. They're not mission critical items. So in learning how to not just, I don't want to say become human, but learning how to reintegrate into society and not feel like an outcast, it starts with looking inside. So self-perception, learning to pay attention to you, because what we joke about is with the horses, they don't care who you are. They don't care what color you are. They don't care what rank you are. They don't care if you're a doctor or a lawyer or whatever. They look at it like, so as people, we're used to putting on our face and, putting up a front for others, but the horses see pressure, right? So Meg, if you would like to take that and explain some of how the horses work and how we help begin to set the stages for working with trauma and veteran experience.
It's an amazing process. I'm still not clear how it happens, but it happens very naturally, and it happens because the client is open to allowing the horse to help them feel their feelings, and also to help the horse's awareness of itself and its environment. So it's very symbiotic. It's a beautiful process, and no words are spoken sometimes. Sometimes it's all done in silence.
Meg, since you're the treasurer, I'm curious, being as a 501c, and of course me being a 501c3 as well. What do you find you get most of your money from?
Well, we do fundraising, and most of our money, as Norm has spoken to, comes from other not-for-profits raising funds with us and for us, because they, like all of us, are believers in the process. And as I said before, we're currently working on a few grants. Norm spoke to that also. Grants, and I think we have a donate button on Facebook. Yes.
Yeah. So that, yeah, Norm talked about the grant process, and I know with this COVID thing again going on, that kind of dries up sometimes. I don't know how many grants are out there, but definitely the donors kind of dries up with this COVID. What's your next? When is you guys' next major fundraiser event?
What I wanted to focus on is we have our camaraderie dinner coming up on 22nd August. And then I know that we have the Freedom Ride. Meg, I know you spoke about that earlier.
That is going to be happening in 2021.
Okay.
It's a group of women motorcycle riders that are going to be riding. Well, last year they rode across the country. I'm not sure where their ride is going in 2021, but they're going to ride for us tentatively.
Okay, yeah, 2020, and being part of American Legion, that kind of stuff, they love that the motorcycle ride. Does a veteran have to pay? So if we get a veteran come in, how do they pay?
I don't.
So there's no payment. The veteran just comes in, and people like us are going to have to help foot that bill so the veteran can do this do this free.
Yes, we provide all of our services at no cost to veterans, first responders, and their families.
Okay.
If we're doing something different, like the leadership courses or stuff pertaining to a particular office, department, hospital, different sections, again, it's coordinating grants and working within the community to source funds, because our mission overlaps with many local organizations. So again, it's the more that we stay connected, the easier it is to, have everybody on the same sheet of music.
Yes.
Okay, we're getting close to our time, and I really enjoyed it. I know I have a lot more questions to ask. Maybe I'll visit with you guys later on. We can do a personal site visit and see what's going on out there. Before I leave, and I always like to ask, what's that?
We'd welcome you.
Yeah. Anything, and Norm knows that anything that's going to take care of veterans, I'm there. So before we always ask this question: what is your ask? And we got people out here who are looking, and we want to know how we can help you. So what's your ask?
I think the best thing that we can do is push our vet initiatives. We've got gardening projects going on. We have expert welders that are running clinics free of charge to any veteran that wants to come out and learn. Like I said, all of our therapeutic services are free to first responders and veterans. All you have to do is reach out to us on our Facebook, IG page, Code Horse FL. Send us a message. Let us know what's out there. And the more we get people connected, and the more, we'll always accept grants and donations, of course, but realistically, it's connecting all of the not-for-profits, creating that solid blue water concept and getting everybody on the same sheet of music is what makes us most effective. So as, the VFWs and American Legions are taking a hit, we can help shoulder some of that burden by helping facilitate a lot of these events. And we can help support a lot of the restaurants and businesses that have been taking a hit since COVID. We can all interoperate, and it's mutually beneficial for all involved, for veterans and the communities in which they serve. So it all works out very well.
Well, I tell you what, it's really great having you guys on board. Norm, man, fellow veteran, Shannon, and Meg. I really appreciate all the people, staff from Code Horse to be on. And thank you for taking care of our veterans. And please, I'll make sure that people will get a way to contact you guys in the future, so we can send our veterans out there and their MST survivors, especially when they need your help. So I want to thank you guys again for being on this podcast. Have a nice night.
Thanks for having us, Tony. Appreciate it.